How beliefs steer every decision you make. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're unpacking something that quietly shapes almost everything you do: belief. Not just religious faith or big philosophical stances, but the everyday convictions you carry about yourself, other people, and how the world works. Those beliefs form the invisible steering wheel behind choices as small as what you eat for breakfast, and as significant as who you trust, the career you pursue, and how you invest your time, money, and energy. In this video, we'll dive deep into how beliefs are formed, how they guide decisions, how they sometimes mislead us, and how to update them so your choices get clearer, faster, and smarter. Start by imagining your mind as a prediction engine. Before evidence arrives, you hold priors, expectations about what's likely. Walk into an unfamiliar restaurant, and you're already predicting the vibe, taste, and price from a few cues. The sign, the crowd, the neighborhood. Those predictions aren't random. They're beliefs distilled from past experiences, stories you've heard, and the opinions of people you trust. When new data shows up, the menu, the first bite, the bill, your brain compares reality with your priors and adjusts. That process happens constantly and automatically. But the starting points, your beliefs, quietly tilt every judgment you make. Beliefs shape attention, and attention shapes our perception of reality. If you believe a project will fail, your eyes naturally land on early setbacks. You feel less motivated to try alternatives, and you miss subtle wins that could compound. That selective attention feeds a self-fulfilling loop. You see proof of your pessimism everywhere because your belief directs your spotlight there. Flip the script and you'll notice opportunities faster, ask better questions, and persevere longer. This isn't magical thinking. It's the mechanics of focus. Where belief points, attention follows. Where attention goes, effort flows. Where effort accumulates, outcomes change. We also rely on mental shortcuts called heuristics, and those shortcuts are guided by belief. If you believe expensive equals quality, you'll justify higher prices with less scrutiny. If you believe early birds are disciplined, you'll rate a 5 a.m. colleague as more reliable, even without evidence of results. Beliefs become the lens that colors ambiguous information. Two people can read the same review, see the same meeting, or hear the same feedback, and come away with opposite conclusions because their lenses differ. Decisions are rarely made on raw facts. They're made on interpreted facts, and interpretation is belief in action. Emotions are not separate from belief. They are intertwined. The effect heuristic shows that when we feel good about something, we rate its risks lower and its benefits higher. When we feel anxious or distrustful, we do the opposite. But what we feel good or bad about is learned, and that learning hardens into belief. If you believe risk-taking is punished, you'll feel uneasy pitching bold ideas. If you believe you can learn through mistakes, you'll feel energized to experiment. Your emotional weather is partly forecast by your beliefs, and that emotional weather determines whether you carry an umbrella of caution or sunglasses of optimism into a choice. Identity protective cognition explains why some beliefs are stubborn. If a belief is tied to who you are, your profession, your community, your values, then conflicting evidence can feel like an attack. You don't just defend a claim, you defend yourself. That's why debates about diets, investing styles, or productivity methods can get heated. The key insight is that when identity is at stake, truth detection gets blurry. To make better decisions, create a psychological gap between my identity and this belief. Say, I hold this view for now, instead of I am this view. That subtle wording makes updating less threatening and more frequent. Speaking of updating, good decision makers practice explicit belief revision. They write down forecasts, note their confidence levels, and revisit outcomes. By comparing what they believed would happen to what actually happened, they calibrate. This is how you move from overconfidence to accuracy without losing boldness. Treat beliefs as draft documents, not carved stone. Ask, What would I need to see to change my mind? What base rates am I ignoring? What evidence would falsify my favorite explanation? Pre-commit to potential disconfirms so that when they appear, you don't rationalize them away. Beliefs also operate socially. We adopt views from the groups we trust because it saves cognitive effort and offers belonging. That's efficient, but it can trap you in echo chambers where dissenting information is filtered out. To guard your decision-making, diversify your belief network. Follow a few credible voices who disagree with each other. When facing a high-stakes choice, run a red team exercise. Temporarily adopt the opposite belief and build the strongest case for it. Even if you return to your original view, your decision will be more robust because it has survived a stress test. Let's connect belief to classic decision pitfalls. The sunk cost fallacy survives on the belief that quitting equals failure. Change that belief to quitting equals optimization, and you'll redeploy resources faster. Confirmation bias thrives on the belief that certainty signals competence. We define competence as the speed and integrity with which you revise a wrong view, and you'll search for disconfirming evidence more eagerly. Overconfidence rests on the belief that past success guarantees future success. Replace it with past success buys a better experiment, not a guaranteed outcome. And you'll protect the downside while reaching for the upside. In personal life, belief shapes capability through self-efficacy. If you believe you can learn hard things, you will persist through the ugly middle where others quit, and that persistence compounds into skill. In health, belief influences adherence. If you believe a routine is meaningful and doable, you'll stick to it long enough to see results that reinforce the belief. In careers, belief about what you're allowed to attempt governs which rooms you enter and which conversations you start. Often the biggest barrier isn't external permission, but internal conviction about what's possible for you. So how do you engineer beliefs that improve decisions without slipping into delusion? First, anchor on base rates, the outside view of how often things work for people like you in situations like this. Then add the inside view, your specific strengths, constraints, and context. Second, quantify uncertainty. Use ranges, not single-point predictions. Third, run small, cheap tests that could change your mind quickly. Let reality tutor your beliefs with fast, repeated feedback. Fourth, keep a decision journal to track your reasoning, evidence, and confidence. Over time, you'll see which beliefs serve you and which ones keep leading you astray. When you encounter evidence that challenges a cherished belief, pause before defending. Ask, what is the steelman of the opposing view? What are 3 plausible ways I might be wrong? If the new data is strong, update publicly to yourself, your team, or your audience. Turning updating into a habit reinforces a meta-belief that truth-seeking beats ego protection. That meta-belief might be the single most valuable one you can cultivate because it improves every other belief downstream and continuously sharpens your decision-making edge. As we wrap, remember this: beliefs are not just opinions you hold. They are strategies your brain uses to allocate attention, energy, and risk. If you upgrade your beliefs, you upgrade your life's operating system. Treat beliefs as tools to be sharpened, swapped, or retired. Build them from evidence. Test them in the real world. Update them with humility, and align them with the identity you're designing, not the one you're trapped in. Do that consistently, and decisions that once felt foggy will become crisp, purposeful, and compounding in their results. Thanks for watching. If this deep dive helped you see your own choices more clearly, let me know in the comments which belief you're planning to update next. And if you're new here, hello and welcome. If you're a regular, you already know what to do. Please like the video, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe to the channel with notifications on so you never miss the ideas that help you make smarter decisions, live intentionally, and build a life you're proud of.